next up, we've got a bug in OpenTX, and I think this graph says it all, Blunty. Clearly, right? No.
If you know what you're looking at, yeah, I think so.
What's the deal with this bug?
The thing to know is that essentially, if you go down, there's a chart that actually maybe is a little better that shows latencies. That one right there. But yes, but basically, if you're running an OpenTX or EdgeTX radio currently, no matter what, you are either in the red or orange category. So the red category is obviously the worst. And that means that if you boot your radio and you have no model selected, no internal or external module, you will get this default. And I think that's basically a really long schedule period, like a 50 millisecond schedule period. That causes you to have crazy high latency over USB.
37 millisecond latency max, average of 19. Is 19 milliseconds considered crazy high these days, Plenty?
Well, jitter, I think, is the problem. So you're getting a jitter here because the mixer is 25 ms. You're getting this crazy jitter when it's polling. And it's causing it to sometimes pull really on time and sometimes pull really late.
Yeah, I think the key thing about that is that when you got a situation like that where the update times are not synced up, it's going to be cyclical in nature. It's not like randomly, like sometimes it's 37 and it's like it's progressing from low to high and back around again. So it's really all over the place. It's not like, well, only 1% of the time it's 37 milliseconds. It's all over the place.
Yeah. And so there's another category here, orange. So that will be where you're at if you do have an internal or external module selected. So it will use the mixer from that and then correctly set it to an interval of 0 and all this jazz. So basically, in that case, the problem is it doesn't fix anything to do with USB. So basically, it was programmed so there's always a 10 millisecond interval. And that means that you're polling on top of a 10 millisecond interval a jitter of 4 milliseconds. So you end up getting this same thing where you get a higher rate than we would want, and you get a jitter. So it ends up being...
Yeah, go ahead.
It just ends up being a little higher than we would expect. Me and Bri were talking about that earlier. But essentially, it's that you're getting 15 milliseconds on average with a jitter up to 22. So.
And I think this is interesting because a lot of people say that their simulator has weird latency, that the physics feel weird. And I'm not claiming that this is like the only reason. There's lots of other reasons why that might be. But I feel like if your latency is high and it's variable over time, I think that's going to affect you. I said I would check at the beginning of the stream.
Welcome to OpenTX.
I'm going to check my joystick model, and I'm going to see which of these situations I'm in. I bet I'm in the red. So I'm going to go model select and go to my joystick model, and I'm going to load it. And I'm going to guess that my internal and external module are off. Of course. Why wouldn't they be? Let's see. And internal RF off, external RF off. So I am in the red when I play on a simulator with this radio.
Yes. However, I will say that there is like a thing that happens essentially if you boot the radio in a model that has either selected, or maybe it's just the external selected. It will hold that and it will not default back to the red. It will stay orange no matter where you change it to.
So how do we get to the green, Blundy? How do we get the latency and the jitter down?
So testing has come up with blue, none, and green. Green looks to be the solution, which is essentially saying like, hey, let's pull as quick as we can. We'll pull every 1 millisecond. Mixers every 2 milliseconds, so we'll just get our packets there all the time. And basically, it's just in testing now. So this is a PR put in. If everything works out great, then EdgeTX will accept this. OpenTX hopefully will also accept this. And in however much time, the next release will have this fix in it, and your USB will be corrected.
Wow, I can't wait. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to fly in a simulator and gone, oh, why am I flying like crap? And now I have an excuse.
Yeah.
Like I get the frame rate up. I have a high-end computer, high-end graphics card. I'm like, I know I fly better than this. I'm going to hope, I'm going to flash. I should do a video where I flash this and immediately test it. It'll be very interesting to see if it makes. So this is going into EdgeTX. EdgeTX will certainly merge this very quickly. When do we have an idea when we might see it in OpenTX? This is an EdgeTX pull request.
Yes, not specifically, but it is being submitted there as soon as it can be, basically. So, however fast that all happens, then it will be it will be done.
Well, kudos to EdgeTX. Again, another reason why open source is so exciting.
I'll just say this is yet another banger from Captain Bry. I think in the last 8 weeks, we've probably featured five or six news stories from Bry. So
Captain Bry was he was the guy who discovered the magic packet with DJI too, wasn't he?
You're going to make so many people.
Lean in, lean into the cringe. Okay. Stop. I know it was Junus. Now I know. Alrighty, Blunty.